Can you see that? No, neither can I. Welcome, I'm Sherlock Holmes, and today we're going to be building a framed staple coil. We're going to be wrapping it in 46 gauge kanthal. So I have a love-hate relationship with 46 gauge. It is very, very difficult and unforgiving to work with. There's no backing it up, starting over. If you make a mistake, that's it. It's going to show when it lays down because it is so smooth when it's finished. Let's jump right into this. We're going to be doing our frame staple coil wrapped in 46 gauge. Our basic core is going to be very similar to the alien frame staple coil that I did the build tutorial on. Alright, so let's get all of our tools and materials together. We're going to be using 26 gauge kanthal, 8 pieces cut to 9 inches of the 0.5 ribbon wire. Let's get all of our tools together and organized. So here's what we're going to need. Our drill, our swivels, flush cuts, 3mm bit, flush cuts, 26 gauge, 8 pieces of 0.5 ribbon, our 46 gauge. Let's get started. So we're going to start by lining up our pieces of ribbon. We want to pinch in opposing directions until we get them in line. Now you want to make sure that your cuts are nice and flush and that you don't have any jagged edges that are going to get snagged. Once all your pieces are in line, you can start adding your 26 gauge kanthal for the framing. Just drop the first one down on top, pinch it in place, and then bring in the second piece on the bottom. Take a spare piece of scrap wire and tie that end together close to the top because this end's going into the chuck. I want to make sure that's nice and tight without bending or moving any of the wires around. I'm going to put a support wrap around the middle just to keep everything together for me for when I'm wrapping this. And then I'm going to do another one down towards the end, leaving about 1.5 inches at the bottom. This is the end that's going to be attached and anchored to the swivel. To anchor the core to the swivel, we just loop it through and pinch it. And that shouldn't go anywhere. Looks good, so let's anchor it into the chuck. Alright, when we anchor this down, you want to make sure that before you tighten it all the way, that nothing is getting crimped up and that it's going to be laying flat and not bent out of shape. That looks pretty good right there. I want to make sure it's nice and tight so it won't slip out while I'm wrapping this. I'm going to grab our 46 gauge kanthal and get it anchored onto the core. When working with 46 gauge, you want to make sure that you don't put too much tension on the spool because it will snap the wire very easily. I fed my 46 gauge into the chuck. I'm going to try to get it anchored onto the core. Alright, now, when wrapping with such a fine gauge wire, you need to try to find the sweet spot as far as how much you want to lead it and with the pressure. So use the beginning here to try to work out where you need to hold your spool and how much pressure you need to put on as tension. right, I got it started. I think I know where I want to be, so I'm going to let it rip.